you see? Give it all. Yeah, all that I got, I give it everything. They lost the plot, they think I'm menacing. They wanna talk, but I ain't settling. Circle is tight, feeling like better rings. Whole lot of globetrotter, man, they don't know nada. Bro, gotta show something to me and go harder. So proper, nah, not that, we sure gotta give it all raw now, like Donna got us. All that I got will never stop. I give it all, straight to the top, will never fly. I give it all, they want me rock, I never blow. I give it all, whoa, what you say, my man? Give it all, whoa, hey, give it all, whoa, yeah, stand tall, give it all. All that I have, I let it be, 'cause nobody's mad at me. What do you see? Give it all. What do you think when people look at me? 100 degrees tougher than Booker T. Couldn't agree more, but could it be? I think higher than them all. Truthfully, my pen fire and then some. Apply the addendum. Take this whole thing for ransom. Give it all I got for attention. Nah, the mention of life well lived, for instance. Give it all.
Energy and storage, I see spinning the globe, my fingertip itch. If I could pluck the earthquake hit, look at the wrist, look at your body, I shake it and shift. Big fish in a small pond, Godzilla with a boot on. I step into your lawn, turn skyscrapers into croutons. Hit the button going high speed, need a megaphone to announce me. I move through the pygmies in the top pick, gotta pick fleas. Sit back, better breathe deep. Look around and they looking at me. 10 toes still never defeat. Push button never needed a key. Icy ain't ready for me. Hot boy still 100 degrees. I cross eyes and I dotted the T's. E&D till I leave in peace. The people is giving the damage. The people is giving the The people is giving the damage. The people is giving the
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Canton, Ohio, where we are about to see the most dominant high school football program in the entire state look to continue the greatest stretch of winning we have ever seen here in the Buckeye State. But standing in the way of Marion Local today are the Hillsdale Falcons in a squad making their first ever state finals appearance, breaking numerous program marks along their journey here to Canton. It's the Division VII State Football Championship from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Extended pregame coverage is all on the way next. Woo!
You know, yoga isn't just for men with ponytails. It's a great tool for relieving stress. But most of those poses aren't realistic. Yeah. You're a construction worker, not a f***ing gymnast. That's why I made this video. Yoga for men. With poses like Weekend Warrior pose. The man spread. And my personal favorite. The just resting my eyes pose. That's the stuff. From depression, relationships, stress, and everything in between. Go to mantherapy.org and take the 20-point head inspection to better care for what's under that hard hat. Because taking care of your mental health is the manliest thing you can do.
Home and Kitchen Supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
It's time to wake 'em up. They've been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. You've been playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. Playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. So it's time to make a change. Yeah, it's time to break the chains. Yeah, it's time to bring the pain. Let them know, tell them we are not the same. I'm the one that got the flames. With my team, as you know, we come to slay.
It's the Sloan Concrete Pregame Show State Championship Edition as we welcome you here inside of the press box at fabulous Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. I am Brian Skowronski. This is the great Travis Berardi. I almost stumbled on that one out of the gates there, but he is great, baby.
Travis Berardi. I mean, this is a special occasion, Brian. It's a state championship. Gotta look good.
That's right. One of these teams has an opportunity to win their 15th state championship, including 4 in a row. The other here on the grand stage for the first time in program history, a record-setting team. And with that, let's get you hyped up. Let's show you these Hillsdale Falcons and how they've been able to journey here all the way to Canton on their way to the best season in program history, overcoming a disappointing Week 10 home loss to Norwayne, but they have responded with an amazing postseason journey.
Oh, yeah. You thought they would have a chance against Norwayne. That second half against them, a couple tough breaks for Cale Lewis and company, but they learned off of that. They built off of that. They faced some adversity in that now over in game, and we saw what happened. 2 Hail Marys to end this first half and to end the game, and that just kind of boosted them to that win over Cuyahoga Heights, who was a Cinderella into that, and then a big comeback against the Danville Blue Devils as well in the state semifinal at Shelby in a game that you saw on the sidelines. Just what an effort. They had some injury that they fought through, and they were still able to get to this point today.
Yeah, very gutsy team, and we were thinking, are they tough enough to get over the hump and beat a team like Danville? It comes from a place literally called Tough Street, Travis. They were able to do that, but maybe the toughest kid on the team, how about Owen Sloan and the record-setting junior back? This dude is playing literally on one leg. He's hobbled out here, but I guarantee you that the single season and career touchdown leader and rushing yards leader is going to give it all that he has here today and try to extend those amazing program marks.
Yeah, I saw him on the field as they were warming up, a little bit hobbled, but I said, you good to go? He said, this is the state championship.
That's it, baby.
Let's do this. We're ready to go. And he will put a 110% effort out there. It don't matter. It's cold enough, too. It might just, might not be able to feel it anyway, but this is the state championship, and this is a kid that's ready to really show off no matter how the ankle feels.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need him to be able to contribute out there and provide something in the running game to open things up for Cale Lewis. The sophomore, also a record setter for Hillsdale this season. He has been dynamite to watch in the growth, and it's hard when you come out of the gates right away, Travis, and you set the program mark for touchdown passes in your first 2 quarters as a sophomore, but this guy's been able to do it. You look at the numbers, he has been sensational this year.
Yeah, 2,981 passing yards. You got to think he's going to surpass the 3,000-yard mark this season, and only 9 interceptions. A couple of those came in that Norwayne game, but other than that, he has been phenomenal in his sophomore season in a squad that only has 3 seniors on this roster.
Crazy. This
is a team that's a year ahead, and Cale, he's also a year ahead.
He's gotten a lot of help, though, from Hayden McFadden. He is part of that 7-11 crew, always open, all the time, 24/7. This dude's been a game breaker, a game wrecker, a difference maker, and he's been the ultimate weapon for them, the first in program history to go over 1,000 yards receiving.
He is that dude. 60 catches, 1,363 receiving yards, 18 receiving touchdowns. I had a chance of calling the playoff opener against Fairport Harding, and he just went ham, over 200 yards receiving. What he's able to do is use his speed. A couple times, he just caught a little bubble screen off to the left, but he used his athleticism to juke away from the defender, and then that speed to take off, and he's going to need to do that today.
But he also has a dynamic, game-breaking player on the edge with him in Holland Young. He can join McFadden as just the second receiver to go over 1,000 yards in program history. Had a big-time touchdown catch that you just saw right there in the win over Danville. And he's kind of that moxie guy, I think. McFadden's the best athlete that they have out there on the perimeter, but they get a lot of their belief in one another in Holland Young, one of those seniors that you talked about.
Yeah, him and McFadden both. 122 total catches combined.
Yeah.
You said he could get over 1,000 yards. He's at 915. He has 9 receiving touchdowns. But between those two, it gives Cale Lewis the opportunity of giving some of that, spreading things out and also giving it to Owen Sloan. That's why Hillsdale has scored a lot of points this season. They've gone over 40 7 times, 8 times here, over 30 a couple more times. This is a team that can put numbers up on the board, and they're going to have to here today. But yes,
they're going up against the team in the state of Ohio in the Marion Local Flyers, making their 27th playoff appearance today, and they are among the most dominant defenses in the entire state of Ohio. Not this season, all time, yeah. Travis. This team has been that good through 15 weeks. They have stifled all of their opponents, and oh, by the way, this year, they've got an explosive offense to match, so this isn't even like your older brothers, Marion Local Flyers. No. This is a new addition. This is the best version that we've ever seen.
Yeah, this is a team, and the longest consecutive win streak in the state of Ohio ever, 63 straight games. They're out in those 63 straight games. They're outscoring their opponents 2,526 to 310. I mean, that's an average of 40.1 points per game to 5. This is a very dominant team, and they have a very dominant defense to help them get there.
Yeah, let's show you some of these gaudy statistics and what this team's been able to do on that side of the football. They say defense wins championships. They're on the verge, this senior class, of winning their 4th in a row, giving up just 3.2 points per game. And I think the number that really stands out to me, 27 points have been given up so far during the 5 playoff games. So if you do the math, Travis, you know how many points they gave up during 10 regular season games in the best small school conference in maybe the entire country? How about 22 points, 2.2 points per game against the likes of the opponents that they have to face in the Coldwaters and the Minsters and the Annas and the Fort Recoveries and the New Bremens and the Telfo St. John's.
Yeah, and I was talking to head coach Trevor Klein earlier this week, and they got coaches, you have to exchange at least 3 videos. You know, 2 of those videos, Coldwater and Minster. Minster is the team that has played close to Marion Local this season. 21-0 in the regular season, 21-7 in the regional championship game. So Hillsdale kind of molding a little bit of what they need to do against this defense off of that. But I believe is a big word today, too, that if they can get their speed on the outside, if Owen Sloan can get it, they can spread things out. They might just be able to do some special things against a team that has not allowed a touchdown in the first quarter.
How about a special group in the Flyers seniors? Maybe the most impressive group over the 25 years that Tim Goodwin has been the head coach. And look at that, 63-0 in this season alone. They've put up over 700 points. They've only allowed 49, 4 MAC championships, undefeated in the postseason, 23 victories, Travis. It has been absurd. That's why they punched their ticket here to Canton yet again. My key to victory today for the Flyers, I think it's simple. If you get out in front of Hillsdale, you might be able to suck some of the wind out of their sails immediately. They're going to get the ball first here today. If you get an early edge, it could be an early bedtime for Hillsdale, even though it's still morning.
And mine control the line. This is one of the most dominant lines in the state of Ohio. If they can just do what they've been doing for the last 4 years as these seniors, they're going to be fine, because this is, like I said, one of the most dominant offensive lines, defensive lines that you've ever seen. They are that good, and they open up that running attack, and if they can continue to do that, they will have a very easy time here today.
Yeah, and you got to have some balance on offense if you're Hillsdale. What does that mean? I'm really just talking to you, Owen Sloan. You're going to gut it out. You're going to be on the field. Cal Lewis and the offense are going to be able to pass it. Can you get a couple of runs and open things up?
And mine, believe. This is signs that say we believe all around Jeromesville. But that's the thing. I said this on the podcast on Monday. The first thing you got to do, you do not care at what says across the shirt, Flyers, who they are, their winning streak. If you believe in yourself, you believe in your teammates, you believe in the game plan and the coaches, that's step number 1 on being competitive against a team like Marion Local. Believe.
And the opening kickoff is underway. And it's going to be taken by the Flyers at the 31-yard line. That's where they will take over. And their first snap here of the game. It's going to be a pass here to the near side on a rollout. And Griffin Bruns makes the catch. And he gets upended not until after he has first down yardage. 11-yard pickup here to open up the game.
Yeah, it was a quick, about a 4-yard out. Hillsdale was playing back a little bit at zone. They played it perfectly into that zone. Used him. He got the corner, got 11 yards, and 1 play, first down. Marion Local out to the 42.
And just a reminder for any of you out there watching live and free on our YouTube along with our Facebook, this is an audio cast only. We are not allowed to show any video clips as Marion Local does a toss play left side, and it's a big run here. Parker Hess to the outside, and that's a big gain all the way into Falcon territory, gashing him out to the 33.
It was just a pitch out to the left side. The wide receivers to the left got very good ceiling blocks off the corners of Hillsdale, and he was just off to the races, got the corner, and the secondary of Hillsdale had to run him down, but not until he gets to the Hillsdale 23, or actually the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, they're already moving.
2 plays, 2 first downs here for the Flyers. They'll come out, 2-back set. They'll hand it off, fake the pass to the right side, and another run here. This is Drew Louse right off the right side. And how about 11 more yards, Travis?
I talked about this offensive line. They're going helmet to helmet. They're getting their blocks. They're sealing them off, and they're averaging over 10 yards per carry here to start off.
As advertised so far, Marion Local, they are nasty up front. This line has been kind of the key to their success, and specifically when the weather gets cold. This time they'll hand to the up back. And trudging forward, another first down, carrying tacklers all the way down to the 4-yard line. Marion Local in business with another big run this time. It is the fullback, and it is Ethan Heitkamp.
I mean, this is, as advertised, Marion Local just throwing blocks at Hillsdale, getting a huge push. I mean, these are gaps that you can drive a truck through right now to get the gain. It's 1st and goal.
Parker Hess, the deep back, pro set. They'll toss left side, a cut back, and untouched into the end zone. Marion Local on the board less than 90 seconds into the game. The Flyers showcasing why they are the #1 team in the state. They are a force to be reckoned with. And the Falcons on the receiving end of just a hard, physical battle down the field here. All first downs and then the touchdown.
Yeah, this is why they have 63 straight victories. You just look at, I'm looking at the replay on the Jumbotron. He wasn't touched until he was 5 yards into the end zone. It's just how the gaps they're getting right now is just so big that it was an easy 84-second drive, and most of them were run plays.
PAT is up. It is through 7-0, 10:36 to go here in the opening frame. The Flyers from Maria Stein showing why this team and this particular group of seniors have been the most decorated so far in program history, looking to go to 64-0 during their amazing careers.
And that would be 4 straight 16-0 seasons. That's 4 straight state championships right there with that streak. And, I mean, it starts with the coaching. I mean, their head coach, Tim Goodwin, I mean, 324 and 48 in his 26th season. Over half of them ended in state championships. I mean, since 2000, this has been the cream of the crop in the state of Ohio. And, I mean, media pundits across the state, can Marion Local go up against an Avon, a Lake Center, a Perkins, a team like that? And everybody's saying, well, yeah, it might be a 2-touchdown game there. But that's what Marion Local going up against some of the best, and people are saying they could play with them. And looking at that offensive line on that first drive, I mean, they're getting chunk plays. You're thinking, they're passing down the field. No, they're getting 10, 12 yards running, about 8, 9 of them untouched.
And that's been the MO of this program for years and years and years. They'll have 3 or 4 different featured backs, and they just march it down the field. They'll kick it off here. It's going to be a short kick, right side, Hillsdale Fields, and they'll take it out around the 25-yard line. So we'll get our first look here at the Falcons offense, and even though defensively they've been pretty stout so far this season, this is where the Falcons have really shined. A lot of program game changers and record setters. So if the Falcons are going to compete in today's game, this is the side of the football where they have to showcase their gifts. They're going to have to do it against one of the greatest defenses, though, in the history of the state of Ohio.
Well, you saw what the Marion Local offense can do. If you want to stay in this game, this is going to have to be a shootout. And you're going to have to start it right now and do something nobody else has done and score in the first quarter against Marion Local.
It's a twin set here for Lewis. They'll take the snap from the gun. They'll fake it. They'll go deep, and they've got Holland Young. He's got a catch out across the 45. Big catch and a pickup of 17 yards to open up the offense here for Hillsdale.
Great throw to start off for Cale Lewis. He sailed it over top of the corner, and Holland Young, one of our spotlights from earlier on, just able to come down under it, and that's what Hillsdale has to do. You have to pick into this zone of Marion Local. Take what they will give you, keep picking at them, get that over-the-top play every once in a while, and Hillsdale, great start almost out the midfield.
Yeah, 2 yards shy of that as they'll take the snap here on first down. It's Sloan right side, nowhere to run. He is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, press back by Kyle Ungren, and about 3 other Flyers coming in to stop him right at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Yeah, that was Ungren on the defensive line, and Ethan Heitkamp and Benton Seitz, the linebackers, quickly getting into that line and knocking down Owen Sloan at the line to gain. At the sticks, I should say, the first sticks.
This defensive front, unbelievable, Travis. All 4 of the starting defensive linemen named first or second team all-district. That's the best that you can do. You can only get 2 in the first team, and they got 2 in the second team. And on a quick throw to the outside, blown up, nowhere to go. Cal Lewis over to the sideline, and it's busted up. McFadden drilled right away.
Yeah, Griffin Bruns read that perfectly, and that's why I said if McFadden catches it with some space, his speed allows him to get away. But Bruns read it perfectly. Right as he caught it, wrapped him up, got the loss, did not even allow Hayden to get any running off.
It's -4 yards here, and they backtrack to the 44-yard line. So 3rd and long, they'll come out 4 wide, quick snap, pressure comes. Lewis gets it out into coverage. It's going to be intercepted up and over the top, and it's picked off here, heading the other way. Daniel Everman. He's going to be forced out of bounds. A lot of pressure from that right side of the line. The Falcons couldn't hold up. Lewis with a bad pass over the top, and it's intercepted by the safety.
Yeah, he threw it into triple coverage trying to get Brock Bauer, overthrew him, and the safety, Daniel Everman, the senior, one of those many great seniors, easily makes the catch and gets out of bounds as we hit our first media timeout of the day. So we have a couple extra minutes to say hello.
Hey, guys. Love everybody out there watching live and free on our Facebook along with our main YouTube. And we do have the fan zone going, so make sure that you're getting your comments in throughout the course of the broadcast. And if you shout us out, we shout you out right back. We'll bring you up. We'll talk about what you guys are talking about over there in the chat section. And I see we've got a great viewing audience so far here in the early portion. So I want to say what's up to Cheryl Gray cheering on the Falcons, as is Brittany Greshner. Says, let's go Falcons. And there's a lot of fan support here in the building, of course, for both programs. But I gotta say, Hillsdale might have shut down the entire town of Dromesville, turned out the lights on the way over here, because there are plenty of Falcons fans here in attendance. Can they will this team to victory, or at least try to keep it close? And on the truck ride up here this morning, Travis, we were talking about, and you never ever as a coaching staff, and they're not talking about this over on the Hillsdale side, but me as a media member and doing my research the last few days, if Hillsdale can just keep this thing close, if they can even just score on this defense, you honestly have to look at that as a victory. 63 opponents have tried to beat this team in a row. None of them have been able to do it.
Yep.
It would be incredibly special if you can do it. However, just compete. Don't feel like you got overwhelmed by this team, and at the end of the day, that's a victory in itself, even though you don't go home with the big trophy.
Well, especially when you only have 6 seniors on this squad and 3 of them starting here in this game tonight, or this morning, I should say. Experience. This team, like we said, way ahead of time, thinking maybe next year they could have made a run, but what they have this year and what they've been able to do, it's just confidence going into next season. And they'd say, hey, Marion Local has all these seniors that they're graduating. Maybe we can get back here and get another shot at them next year. Yeah. However, there's 8:50 left in the first quarter. It's only 7-0. You are backed into your own end after the interception, but hey, get one stop. At least get a stop of less than 5 yards on a running game. Get some of that momentum back. That's what you want to see first here on the second possession, because the running game of Marion Local so far has just been crazy. 58 rushing yards, 4 first downs in 5 plays. The 5th one wasn't a first down, it was a touchdown. Every play they've run was either a first down or a touchdown on that first drive. So let's see if the defense can now get a little bit more comfortable. The coaching staff up here just to our right in the booth, seeing what they were doing. Maybe they can make some adjustments as they begin the second drive for Marion Local out of this media timeout.
It's going to start at the 25-yard line as Marion Local breaks the huddle. They'll send 3 receivers over to the left, 1 to the right. The lone back right now is Parker Hess. Send a man in motion from left to right. That's Victor Holscher. And dropping back to pass this time is Knopf. He'll go deep to the end zone, underthrown. Holscher goes down to the ground. He can't make the snag. So the Falcons, defensively, they step up. They make their first play of the game.
Brock Bauer doing a very good job with the face guarding there. If he would have looked back to the ball, he might have had a chance for the interception, but he was playing the wide receiver, not interfering, sticking with him. And if he saw him reaching for the ball, he would have knocked it down. Good defense, good face guard. 2nd down and 10.
This time it's a pro set. Lone back will be Drew Louse. From the gun, Knopf turns, hands off, left side, a stutter step, and back up into the middle, carrying tacklers.
Wow.
7, 8, 9 Falcons all can't bring them down. What an extra 2nd and 3rd and 4th effort down to the Falcon 4-yard line, about 12 extra yards after the first contact, and it took every single Hillsdale player to help make that stop.
Yeah, it was just, if you keep him on his feet as well, caught up, that allows his offensive line to come in there and give you that rugby scrum and push you 10 more yards. And again, one play, 1st and goal.
They'll come out with a heavy set. They'll bring a man in motion right to left. They'll hand off left side. Hess fighting for the goal line. He's in there. 2-score advantage now for Marion Local. 8:10 showing right now on the first quarter game clock. And it's the running attack that Marion Local has been known for years and years and years. On full display here early on, up front, these boys are nasty, they're mean, they're opening up holes, and the engine just never stops going for these ball carriers.
Well, if you could take one positive out of it, Hillsdale had him stopped right at the goal line, and he reached over. So that would have been, on any other play, it would have been a 3-yard gain. If you're looking at any type of silver lining right now, at least they're getting to the running back. However, it was on the 3-yard line. It's a touchdown. It's 14-0. Now, Cale Lewis and company have to come back out here, and we have a flag on the play.
Yeah, not 14-0 just yet.
Yeah.
We're going to get a false start here on the PAT, so they'll have to back up 5 yards and try it all over again.
But for Hillsdale, Cale Lewis, get that interception out of your mind. It was a blitz. You just had to get it out. It was a bit overthrown. Okay, but you can't let this game get out of hand by going 3 and out right here. You can go down. Maybe if you can score, it's back to a 1-score game, and you're resetting and getting back to it. But you got to move the ball once again. That first play they had was great. Now you have to build off of that.
Carson Bills, a little bit longer PAT, and he'll push it wide left, so the score remains 13-0. Marion Local out in front. Hillsdale about to get the football back. Had a big play to start things off on their opening drive, then backtracked after that. The interception from Cale Lewis. Need to respond in a big way here on drive number 2. Cannot let the Flyers run away with this thing. My key to victory, get that early edge. Right now they've got it. For the Falcons, you can try to offset some of that here if you can get some points and drive down the field to be the first team all season to score in the first quarter against this Flyers defense.
Yeah, 13-0. Got a little bit of a break. The wind is blowing from right to left, so that extra 5 yards pushed it off. There's a break for you. Score, you're only down 6 if you can get the extra point, maybe even go for 2, who knows. But you got to get the ball moving again. You got out to the 48-yard line before a couple negative plays. Find those holes in the gap. See if Owen Sloan can find a hole as well running. He has 1 rush for no yards. Got to keep seeing what you can get.
Flyers got it teed up, looking to kick it away deep. Thomas Winner, junior nose tackle, actually is their kicker. And he'll send it short. And this will be taken on the fly at the 20-yard line by Kyle Turk. And he twists and turns out across the 30. Falcons offense coming out here for the second drive here of the morning. In a very crucial one, even though it's 8 minutes, 4 seconds still showing here in quarter number 1. Cannot afford to be down 2 scores and give the football right back to an offense that has just been a meat grinder all season.
Showing Trevor Klein on the Jumbotron right now in his 7th season, 51-23. He was the quarterback of the Falcons, so, he probably had some words to say with Cale Lewis to calm him down. We'll see if he can get a drive going here.
Falcons come out heavy set. They'll shift, bring a couple men to the left. They'll give it Owen Sloan. He fights, pushes forward, and maybe a yard on the gain.
We'll give him a yard and a half.
And for Marion Local, you see all the pre-snap eye candy that Hillsdale likes to bring. Guys in motion. Nobody moves. Nobody flinches. They don't ever tip their hand and show you if it's man, zone, if they're bringing pressure. They kind of stay in the same slots a lot, Travis, so it's just nearly impossible to try to get a read on them and figure out exactly what type of covers they're going to be hanging out in.
That's what makes them so good. I mean, this is a team. Sloan gets the handoff and gets a couple more yards here. Be third and about a long 5, maybe 6. But for Marion Local, we've heard once they get into Pee Wee football or, before JV, before freshman, everybody plays. Everybody learns the techniques. So when you get to the varsity level, you don't have to kind of give everything up. They know what to do. They've known it as younger kids. And that's why they're so great, is because everybody knows the system. Everybody's played it for large amounts of time before even getting to high school.
Falcons key, third down, empty set. Lewis fires over the middle. It's behind the intended target. There's a lot of contact, and a flag comes out late. Kyle Turk, the intended target.
That's a lucky break for Hillsdale. It was behind him, but Everman kind of ran him across as well through his back, didn't allow him to come back to the ball, and that's a good break for Hillsdale. It's going to be a pass interference call, and it'll be a first down.
Much to the delight of Rosie out there, along with Garrett Allen, a Whippet fan rooting for Hillsdale here today. That's what I love so much about the postseason, specifically within conferences and in your area, is when it gets this deep, the last day of the season in Division 7, jump on some bagwagons, support some kids that you've gone against, maybe you grew up with, played Pee-wee for or against. Great time of year here for high school football. Anytime you can be competing in December, it's always a lot of value. The big enchilada on the line here today as it's an empty set again. They'll set up the screenplay, a couple of nice blocks, but Marion Local, like they do, they fly to the football so fast, so effectively, and it'll be a gain of maybe 5 yards here on first down.
But that's a good gain on first down. Get half of it out of there. Owen Sloan has been getting 2-3 yards in the last couple of carries. That allows you to get that push. If you can get to within, third or fourth and 1 or 2, you got to think this is 4-down territory the rest of the way for Trevor Klein and company.
It was Holland Young with the grab and go there, so they're into Flyer territory. Ball marked at the 45-yard line. Sloan, the lone back here. Lewis hands off to him. They'll pitch it back. Another flea flicker, and it's on the ground. They drop it. They tried to flip it back into the hands of Lewis. He wanted to fire it deep. Couldn't handle it. Cold conditions. And it goes down as a loss of 7. So a tough break here for the Falcons. They were starting to matriculate down the field, get a little bit of momentum, and that'll stall it here, at least momentarily.
Yeah, it was 2nd and 5. Now it's 3rd and about 15. But you have, if you're going to take those plays, you got to cash in on them because this is a Marion Local team that if you do make that little mistake, they will make you pay. Thankfully, Lewis was able to jump back on it, but now they're way behind the sticks on 3rd and long.
They'll keep Sloan in the game. He's sidecar right here for Lewis. 2 receivers to his left. Pressure coming off the edge. They get to Lewis, but he's able to get it out in time. The intended target is Young. It sails over the top of his head. And 4th down on the way. Incomplete pass. And the Falcons punting unit now has to march back out onto the field.
Yeah, Adam Winter. What a name, Winter. Coming off unblocked off the right side because they brought the full house blitz. And if Cale Lewis has maybe a half second, he's able to hit Holland Young at the sticks. He was open, but because of that blitz, he was just overthrown, and it's a punting situation for the Falcons. And that punt is away. It'll be taken over the head at the 20.
Yeah, really tough catch for Griffin Burns, but he's turning it into a lot. Catches a block down the near side, and he's out into Falcons territory inside of the 40-yard line. Looked like he probably was going to let it go and drop inside of his own 20. An acrobatic catch and a beautiful return. We're watching it on the Jumbotron here. That's something that just can't necessarily be taught. You're not really working on that. Just makes a great play. And he serves up another short field, the second in a row here for Justin Knopf and this offense.
If it wasn't for Brady Heller lowing the bang there, he would have been gone. There was one man to beat, and Heller just came across the field and made the tackle.
Knopf from the gun, and he'll send Burns from left to right. Looking left, he throws over the middle. He's got a target. It's Holscher with the grab. He makes the move, and he'll go into the end zone, dancing around a pair of defenders in the secondary, and Marion Local pushes the advantage out to 3 scores. We've still got 5 minutes showing on the clock here in quarter 1.
I mean, it was a quick slant. It was thrown the only place it could be, and he let his receiver do the rest on that catch. Kind of behind him, too. Tough catch, and then he pulls something we see with Hayden McFadden all year. Once he makes the catch, turns the speed on, gets around the defender, and he was gone to the end zone. It's 19-0.
Chance to make it 20-0 here with Carson Bills back on. Snap to Everman. It's a little low. He handles. He gets it down. The kick is up, and it splits the uprights. 4:56 to go here in the opening quarter. We will take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hillsdale in desperate need of some offense when we return. Back here at Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, it is a rough start here for the Falcons, but really I think you need to more credit the opponent.
Oh, yeah,
Marion
absolutely.
Local, they are making some plays. They are looking athletic, big up front, and just nasty. This is a very well-coached team. Of course, Tim Goodwin, highly regarded around the state as maybe the best that's doing it right now. Very military-like
Yes.
with the approach before the game. You just see how in sync everybody is, but they're having fun. And reading a lot of the articles this week that I did, it sounds like this senior class in particular, as Hillsdale takes the return out across the 20 to the 23-yard line, it just feels like there's a lot of love and admiration for what these boys have done through 4 years. And, well, if you haven't lost the game, of course, that's really going to help. But they've just been genuine people. They've been good in the community, and they're obviously outstanding football players because a lot of the difference makers on the field all will be lost at graduation
Yes.
after this season.
Well, not only 4 years. I'd like to see what the record was 6 years since they started playing, in 7th and 8th grade, what the record is there, because it's probably pretty darn good as well.
Handoff on first down. It's Owen Sloan battling through, barrels ahead, and he inches for a extra yard for a pickup of 5 on first down, and a decent start here. Sloan looks a lot better on his feet than a week ago against Danville, where he had to be helped up by his teammates after every single carry. Really gutsy effort, and it looks like he's starting to get a little bit healthier. Has not been practicing for the better part of a month.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Klein earlier this week, even the linebacking core, that they were struggling in that Danville game as well. They haven't had many chances because of this good offensive line of Marion Local, but more healthy here today.
Second down, Brock Power comes in motion. They'll hand it off to him, and he gets stood up. Just smacked right away. No gain on the play. Isaac Molenkamp, and that's a name that you hear a lot at Marion Local. The
Yes, you do.
Molenkamps.
Yes.
Big pop through the hole. And really there wasn't one because he came through and he shut it down.
Well, especially when you're 6'1", 205 pounds coming at you. But this is just, you have 205, 190, 185, 200, 185. Just some of these numbers are safeties.
They bring pressure again. The throw is behind another interception. It's the same name, Daniel Everman. The return down the near sideline. He dives for the pylon. Is he in? He'll be marked out inside of the 1. Bad read that time by Cal Lewis. The receiver never even turned his head and looked back for the football, but the pressure came. There was nothing he could do with Braden Mesher coming off of that side.
Yeah, he went for the home run ball there. He's looking for McFadden, underthrew him, and made him pay. If he would have gotten that about 3 feet a little bit further, I think that does get past the hands of Everman, but I don't know if McFadden's even looking for the ball. If he does, he catches that, he might be gone, but it was underthrown, and that's how Marion Local makes you pay, and they're into the end zone.
Inside the 1-yard line, it's Ethan Heitkamp, and he bursts in. Another touchdown here for the Flyers, and we are quickly getting to running clock territory, 26-0. Marion Local with 3:19 to go.
And this is kind of looking like you covered the Doughton Marion Local game last year. Doughton, a couple mistakes early on. Marion Local made them pay, and then it just took the wind out of the sails, and they just cruised the rest of the way. It's kind of getting that feel right now as 26, maybe 27-0, and we still have 3:19 left in the opening quarter.
The running attack has been so good so far as Heitkamp now into the end zone. They're averaging 12 yards per clip here in the early portion of the game, almost 100 yards, but they've had the short field now 3 of the 4 drives, and they've been able to punch them all so far into the end zone and with very little resistance.
They did miss the extra point, though.
Hey!
So if there's anything going Hillsdale's way right now, it's the extra point was missed. But, I mean, yeah, you talk about some of these teams that you've seen in the past. One of the coaches on the coaching staff for Hillsdale played for Mogador, played in 2 state championship games, but ran into a Newark Catholic team in the 80s and early 90s that was kind of like what Marion Local is now. But I think this Marion Local could probably go up with any of those squads. This is a once-in-a-lifetime senior class, like you've said in the pregame, because they're so good. They're so fundamental. They don't make that many mistakes, and they just make you pay when you make mistakes.
Unbelievable athletes, too. And to put it in perspective for you folks, during the 10-week regular season grind in the MAC, they only allowed 22 points. That's 2.2 points per game.
And the MAC is a pretty darn good conference, too.
Had a 6-game shutout streak between weeks 6 through 11 into the playoffs. And they are certainly hitting their stride here at the end of the season, as a big tackle by Braden Mesher here on the return. Minimal gain by Kyle Turk. Even the kicking unit, they put it high up in the air. They put sky balls in between the 15 and the 20, and it seems like the coverage team is down there almost as soon as you catch it. So every aspect of the game is going well. And as we look over to the sideline, there's just so much frustration on the face of Owen Sloan.
Well, on the last pass pattern, on the interception, he went for a curl and fell, and they just showed the replay of it. So he's back out there, though, because that's who Owen Sloan is. He's a battler, and he's off to a good run here. Yeah,
a little jitter to the outside. Sloan turns it up, and he gets belted by the man that has a 2-pack of interceptions today. That's Daniel Everman. But it's 4 yards here to start off this drive.
Yeah, Owen, he's a battler. He's going to be out there. It's the last game of the year for him, so he's going to give it his all. 5 carries right now, 5 yards currently. That should go up to about 9 yards on 6 carries, but still, a rushing game that is so good for Hillsdale, just getting shut down by this Marion Local defensive line.
Sloan trying to go over 1,700 yards today, add on his single-season program record. He'll get the carry here, second down, darts in between a pair of defenders, and he falls forward. Maybe a pickup of 2 out to the 30-yard line, so it'll quickly be third down, and Hillsdale needs right around 4 yards here to get the chain gang on the move. And at this score, even though it's this early in the game, I would not be surprised if Coach Klein, if they're in 3-4 yard territory on fourth down, if they have to, you got to start
rolling the dice. What do you have to lose?
Dice.
I mean, honestly, what do you have to lose against a team like Marion Local? I mean, you've assured yourself a trophy and a state runner-up no matter what, but you always want to win that state championship. You're in this position right now. Leave it all out there on the field.
They'll hand it to Sloan here on third down. Throws a stiff arm. Cannot get away from Mesher. He has been a mutant off that right side. Nobody's been able to block him so far. He'll drag him down. No gain on the play. And this is the exact scenario that I was talking about. And the offense will stay on the field as the sophomore quarterback, Cal Lewis, actually now is being told to come off, and the punt unit will trot on a little bit late here on the play clock.
Yeah, 3 straight runs for Sloan. He had that good 4-yard gain the first time, but then just the defensive line opening up holes for those linebackers that just bring him down. Sloan tried to get to the outside those 3 times, but after the first one, fool me once.
Fooled man can't be fooled a second time.
Yep.
The punt's away from McFadden. The return here by Holscher, and again, he's got a big hole. Holscher to the outside. He catches a block. He cuts back up against the grain. See you later. Victor Holscher to the crib. 5-score game here. Just under a minute remaining in quarter number 1. Fireworks.
Unreal.
Flying from every direction.
He made 1 tackler miss right off the bat right here, and that was it. Block, helmet on a helmet right there, outran 1 defender, cuts back. Goodbye, 32-0.
Almost speechless to see how dynamic this team is. So many weapons in every facet of the game, offense, defense, special teams, except in the kicking game. This is where Hillsdale has shined, but not this time. It's up, it's through. Bills cashes it in. 33-zip right now. And the Flyers really enjoying this first quarter. You see the fans, nobody really using a chair here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium over on the visitor side. Everybody up on their feet. It's been impressive what they've done so far, and even though we anticipated that they were going to be a huge favorite and this was going to be tough for them, they have put up the most points scored in any quarter ever in a Division VII championship game.
And there's still 57 seconds left as well. But, they were 1 yard away from already having a offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and a special teams touchdown. This is getting a note from our Adam Thompson. This kind of has the feel of when Lucas Mansfield Sr. played in the state championship games a few years ago, where all of Richland County came out. Lucas came the root on Mansfield. Senior Mansfield came the root on Lucas, kind of like that. It kind of has that field here today. All of Ashland County, some of Richland County, said, Shelby fans rooting on. But it's just always great when you get a team from the area to play for a state championship because everybody rallies around them from the area.
Smithville's fan right there, Brandon Bauman.
Also the WCAL, yeah.
What's up, Jennifer Winslow says, unbelievable how good they are. I, too, am feeling that way. I've read about it as they'll punch this one up and actually kind of going for an onside kick here. Knox Lewis able to catch it, and an athletic catch just to get the ball into Hillsdale's offense hands again. As Lewis in the squad back out there from their own 35-yard line, 65 yards in between them and trying to get on the board as they show Falcons fans here in attendance. A lot of them bundled up, cold morning.
Actually, it didn't feel that bad down on the field because we're inside of a bowl and it's kind of blocked off now with the new Hall of Fame Village. Didn't feel that bad, kind of compared to if you're in Mansfield where there's nothing blocking the wind and it feels like negative 10 degrees. The sun helps out too.
Falcons will run it again here on first down. They'll put it in the hands of Jake Haven. And the junior 200-pounder looked like he was going to be stopped. Spun out of a would-be tackler, and he dives forward. 5-yard pickup. First downs have been kind so far to the Falcons. It's second down where they've had a lot of issues.
Yeah, but that was a great run, and he actually got some extra push there from his offensive line to get an extra 2 yards, and now second and manageable.
It'll be Lewis from the gun. Two receivers to his right, tight end to the left. They'll fake the run. They'll throw it out quick to McFadden. He's got a block. Stutter step, and he breaks away from one tackler, and he's out to midfield. So the Falcons to the 50-yard line. 13 seconds remaining here in the quarter, and the clock stops with the first down.
Yeah, gets out the midfield. Hillsdale's been here a couple times, but this is the point where Marion Local really shut them down the last couple of possessions, and Hillsdale will just let the clock run out, so Marion Local will go one full season without giving up a point in the first quarter.
And it is in the books. Impressive stuff from the Flyers here. 12 minutes into the competition. We'll be back. Quarter number 2 on the way, and the Falcons on the move.
Home and Kitchen Supply. We're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Me think it's time to wake 'em up. They been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. You've been playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. Playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. So it's time to make a change. Yeah, it's time to break the chains. Yeah, it's time to bring the pain.
Happy Football Friday to everybody out there watching live and free, or really kind of listening, even though you got all the fancy graphics and stuff. And, of course, you, the fans out there, showing up in the fan zone. But I'm Brian. This is Travis. And fun to be out here again in Canton. And an unbelievable season for the Hillsdale Falcons, a record-setting season for them, 14 victories. Maybe at the end of the line here as they trail 33-0 against the Ultimate Predator and Marion Local, 33 points, the most ever scored in a D7 championship quarter.
And we wish we could bring you those clips live, but the people next to us, Spectrum, they don't like us doing that. So we're just going to keep you with the audio cast, but we will have a audio synced highlight for you later on. Hillsdale now 33-0. You just got to keep fighting. Couple good plays, a 6-yard run, a first down the midfield. Got to keep building off of that. You may not be able to come back from 33 down to this squad, but let's see. Can you score the most points against Marion Local that they've given up all season? Can you make it respectable? There's a lot of people still backing the Hillsdale Falcons, as we've been seeing in the fan zone. And, what a run for the squad that we didn't even know how they would be coming into the season with such young talent. Cale Lewis, we didn't know what he had, but immediately he came out and showed he's one of the best quarterbacks in the WCAL. Owen Sloan, Hayden McFadden. Those are names that will be coming back next year, including Brock Bauer, Holland Young, one of those seniors. But what a season for the Hillsdale Falcons right now. Kind of ahead of schedule. And why not make it to a state championship game when you're ahead of schedule?
Yeah, a lot to be proud about so far here for Hillsdale, and a long way to go here, too. So even though maybe you might think the win not going to be in the cards here today, play for fun.
Yeah.
Have some big-time plays, get a touchdown, have a nice catch. Here's Owen Sloan here with a run on first down, and he gets pushed back, flying to the football, come the Flyers. But that's what they do so well. It's actually Haven who's in there on first down and gets the carry. But for Hillsdale, they've been a high-wire act all season. They came out of the gates against Black River. We talked about Cale Lewis and those 6 touchdown passes in the first half alone. What a debut for them. They put up 44 in that game at Lucas, a game that I called 26-8.
And that's a lot of points.
Defense.
That's a lot of points, though, against the Lucas squad that runs the clock.
But they showed their versatility right out of the gates. That's when they started getting some belief, as here on second down, they'll snap it, and they'll hand it to the wide receiver. And it looks like it's Brock Bauer, and he's going to be met again for no gain.
It looks like the holes are open there enough for him to squeak through, but immediately just shut down by Marion Local. Those linebackers able to fill those holes. And, I mean, I know we're here for Hillsdale, but this Marion Local squad, they just continue to impress me at what they do just fundamentally.
They do things the right way. You talked about during the break, they act like they've been here because they do seemingly get here every single season since 2000. And it's just a classy program. They've just got a lot of talent to go with it as they pitch it to McFadden. He's eaten up in the backfield. Drew Louse read it right away. 15-yard loss, says the Falcons, and they've had so much success with the flea flickers this season. Not against this team. Too much discipline.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. Drew Louse stayed in his zone. He saw he saw McFadden coming back the other way. He stayed right there, and he met him right on the pitch. And it's another punting formation after a loss of 14.
McFadden's in there. He'll punt it away here near side. Angles it out of bounds. A really good idea after what we've seen on the last 2 returns from Holscher, the latest going for a touchdown. So they'll at least force the offense to have to come out onto the field, as the official still marking it off exactly where it went out of bounds. He's still marching, and they'll mark it at the 34-yard line. So a chance here for Justin Knopf in the offense to try to get things going again. The running game has not been stopped. They haven't had to throw it much. Just 2.
One of them a touchdown,
so far, and the 37-yard touchdown to Holscher, who's now got a couple in a couple of different ways. Bring a man to motion from left to right. Griffin Bruns. They'll roll it out.
He's going deep.
Pump fake, and they'll go deep, and nearly caught. A little underthrown for Andrew Pullman. Got behind the Falcons secondary, but the throw about 5 yards under where it needed to be, or might be 6 more points on the board.
And Kyle Turk also was able to get a hand up in there because that was nearly caught for a big game by Pullman. The wind playing a factor. It's blowing into the face of Marion Local right now. If it's not blowing, that probably is 6 points as they went for the home run ball. It's 2nd and 10.
They'll snap it. They'll pitch it here. It'll be Drew Louse. And Louse not going to be taken down without a crowd around him. The Falcons finally fight him to the floor at the 49-yard line, so he breaks into Hillsdale territory.
And again, 10-plus yards per carry for this Marion Local squad, 12 yards per carry, and he just met that immediately. Once again, Louse averaging 17, Hess 10.7, Heitkamp only 9. Only 9.
They'll go empty set this time.
Wide
Over the
open.
middle, it's the tight end, and Griffin Bruns finally gets taken down by Turk just on the outskirts of the red zone. So Marion Local knocking yet again in scoring position. In this offense, we've seen year after year that the Flyers, they're really known for being physical, nasty up front, and they'll feature 3-2-4 running backs. This year with Knopf, he's been a record setter, Travis. The first player in Marion Local history, I believe, to go over 2,000 passing yards, including today. He's now got 27 touchdowns as they run it, a big hole. And down to the 1-yard line goes Parker Hess.
Went with a little fake. They faked the bootleg there. Hess had a hole again, was able to get to the left side, nearly went in for another score. He's got 2 touchdowns already, looking for his third here in a quarter and 4 minutes.
Marion Local, change of personnel. They'll get a couple of extra big bodies in there as they're just 36 inches away from Pater. Knopf under center. 2 tight ends sent. They'll hand it off, and that's the 3rd touchdown for Hess. And even though these ball carriers, they're doing a great job of never, ever allowing the leg drive to stop, I think that you or I could have taken that one in there. The blocking up front is what makes them supremely challenging to try to stop.
Well, and his ability, too, he bounced that out at the last second, too, because there was a couple Falcons ready for him in the middle of the line, and he just a little stuttered to the left, easy into the end zone, and it's 39-0 in favor of the number 1 team in Division 7, and could be a team that would be rated number 1 in Division 6, 5, maybe 4? I don't know, but they're that good, and they're up 40-0.
They'll tack on the PAT from Carson Bills. We'll take a timeout. 8:19 to go here in quarter number 2. Fly, Flyers, fly so far.
They been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. They been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. You've been playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. Playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. So it's time to make a change. Yeah, it's time to break the chains. Yeah, it's time to bring the pain. Let 'em know, tell 'em we are not the same. I'm the one that got the flames. With my team, as you know, we come to slay. Let 'em know that we didn't come to play. Nah, we came to win. I'm ready for anything that they can bring. Bring it on, let me do my thing. I'm a giant, they can't move the king. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. You gotta give it all you got, you gotta let them know. You are on another level, you are ruthless. Switch it up, it's the new flex. Ruthless.
The number 1 team in the state kind of looking like it so far here. Marion Local 40-0 against Hillsdale. Every time they've had the football in any variety of different ways, they're finding their way into the end zone. Offense, defense, special teams, it's all clicking here in Canton. I'm Brian. This is Travis.
I'm breaking
diving
out
into
the record books. I mean,
what do we need to know?
Well, let's see. We got longest kickoff return, punt return for a touchdown was actually Holscher last year against Dalton, 64 yards. What was that punt return now? Do we remember what the punt return touchdown was? But that may be a record. Let's see.
Did he break his own?
66.
Yes, he did.
He did. He broke his own record by 2 yards there. So that's 1 already. Shutouts last year. They have 3 of the 4 shutouts in Division 7. They beat Trimble 33-0 and 13. Norwalk St. Paul 41-0 and 14, and then Dalton last year 38-0. Team scoring records. The most is 78 by Cincinnati Anderson.
Okay, so that
71. Remember, this is in the tournament altogether because remember the Shelby Whippets last year. 71 against Van Wert. So we have some of those, but it's looking like the record books may be rewritten for Marion Local here today.
And we've got some first quarter stats that we can share with you guys just to kind of showcase the dominance and what we've seen so far. I mean, it's very striking here in person to take in a team like this because we've seen Hillsdale all season long, and they have been a very formidable opponent. A great team, you would say. 14 wins and 15 tries. The only loss to a Division 5 team in Norwayne, who has been a beast for a long time. But you look at the Flyers, perfect in the red zone to start things off in that opening quarter. They only needed 2 minutes worth of ball control in the time of possession to put up 142 yards. So they've had the Midas touch. Everything that they're doing with the football is turning into gold or touchdown or points. So they got 40 of them right now.
Hess is 1 touchdown away from tying the most rushing touchdowns in a D7 championship game, and there's still 8:19 left here in the first half. So Hillsdale, let's see if they can get something going here before the half, because we are now, even if they score, we're still looking at a running clock into the second half. So try and get some points on the board before the time will get short for you.
And we'll take a quick look at our player spotlight here tonight, or this morning, I should say. Parker Hess, he just came off of a career game where he had 3 touchdowns and 200 yards, putting him over the 1,000-yard mark, and he's added 3 more to those totals here, so he's got 22 now for the season. Really impressive stuff for him, and looking to break a record, perhaps.
Marion Local's 2 points away from tying their own record for a D7 state championship game. A quarter and 4 minutes in. This is just how, and that's nothing against Hillsdale. That's just how good this team is. Once, like I've been saying, it's a once-in-a-lifetime squad that Marion Local has, and they're showing it. Falcons back on offense.
Lewis from the gun, and he'll hand it off here. Looks like Owen Sloan might be hampered a bit with that injury, so Haven has been getting the bulk load of the offensive snaps, though he goes nowhere. A half-yard gain on the right side, and the holes get filled quickly here. Just about every carry for the Falcons.
I don't know if the fastest player in the state could get through some of these holes that Marion Local close up, because they're just so fast to closing it up. Those linebackers are really good at reading where the run is going and just filling those out.
They show blitz. Falcons are going to run it here near side, and that's Jake Haven. He'll fight for about 2 yards on the gain. Stretch to the outside. Marion Local again. Everybody flying to the football, and there's not an opening for him to try to crease through a window, so it'll bring up 3rd down long here for the sophomore quarterback, Cale Lewis, in this offense, who they've put up record numbers in the passing game all season. They're going to need to put something together here. Try to find Hayden McFadden, their record setter, maybe somebody else.
Yeah, Cale, 4 of 7 so far, 33 yards and 2 interceptions. Make
and
that
he
3.
Throws another pick. Forced this one into heavy traffic. Griffin Bronze with the pick. I have no idea how he escaped, but he did. Caught a block. He is gone. So the record now belongs to Marion Local.
Breaking their own from 2021.
46 points in a Division 7 championship game, the most all time, and they've done it in just a quarter and a half. Breathtaking display here by the Flyers, and it's in all facets.
They have now scored on offense, defense, and special teams in the first half.
Looking to tack one more on here. Bills has been a busy kicker. Has missed wide left twice. As the referees are going to slow things down. I think maybe a snowball got chucked onto the field. They do an amazing job of we saw the snow in the Division II game that came down last night for that Anderson-Avon game. They were able to clear it off about 90 minutes before kickoff here, and it is a clean sheet of turf.
Yeah, they had those turf scrubbers or whatever blowing that off, and then they also have the leaf blowers getting the lines and whatnot. But it was covered when we got here at about 8:30 this morning. But they did a really good job of clearing it off with the sun now too. Should be a good day.
And this one missed wide to the left again. So the score remains 46-0. The third miss for Bills. That's the only facet of the game so far that the Flyers have not been ultra dominant in. As Travis mentioned, they've got multiple scores rushing. They've got one in the passing game. They had a punt return for a touchdown. And now the latest, the interception taken back for a score. And you can see all of them on a synced highlight later this evening. But for right now, just our amazement of what we've seen, as they've now broken the record, as we mentioned, for scoring and 7 touchdowns in a D7 final.
And they've tied for the most combined touchdowns in a game by 2 teams.
Can't make this stuff up, folks. Marion Local broke the state record in Week 10. It was 57 consecutive wins, and they had to beat a Bear to do it. The #1 team in the state in Division 6, who will be playing tomorrow morning in Coldwater. And they slapped them, running clock, 35-0 to break the state record for 58 straight. Obviously, they're here in the state championship, so they've piled 5 more on, and looking like they're going to grab another. Kickoff is taken here by Kyle Turk on the near side, and he'll be forced out of bounds. Steps out of the boundary at the 27-yard line. And a lot of comments coming through about, why doesn't Marion Local, if they've been so dominant, they're looking for 4 straight state championships, they're looking for their 15th overall, why don't they move up a division? They have bounced back and forth between D6 and D7, and my daughter actually asked me this morning when I was explaining to her how much of a David versus Goliath matchup this is, and she's like, well, why are they playing Hillsdale? And I just had to express, it's the amount of boys that go to your school. That's the only foundation that they base it upon.
And also, they're in the same school district. You have other teams where you have players coming in from outside the district, and that adds to their number.
The competitive balance,
the
sure.
competitive balance, which was supposed to help things out, but I think have made things worse by the way teams have been able, Richmond Heights, to really, mess with those numbers, and it's actually hurt the smaller schools with that. Marion Local, no, they do not do that. They have their own kids, their own talent. Nobody comes in from outside, maybe a couple.
Don't need
but
them.
It's not like some people, why don't they play up? They're cheating. No, they're not. They're playing by the rules, and they're doing it right.
The difference is they get more than 50% participation more often than not, where half of the boys in the school compete in this sport, as 3 of them converge to make a stop in the backfield, and on a first down run, it's -4 yards, and they weren't even trying to counter or a sweep or anything. They're just handing it off left side A-gap. 3 Flyers blitz in there, and they knock them down. Nowhere for Haven to run.
That was actually Mikey Schenberger, the third, getting his first run in the sophomore, getting some
Mikey.
time in the state championship game. But, yeah, and we said this before, too. Marion Local, when you start junior football, everybody plays the same amount of time. As Cale Lewis on the RPO keeper just saw a defender coming at him and just takes a knee for a loss of about 7 yards there. But for Marion Local, everybody plays equal time. They don't care about records at the lower levels, JV freshmen. They just get playing time. Everybody learns the system, and this is why you have the possibility for today 4 straight 16-win seasons for Marion Local. Their last loss, New Bremen in the COVID year.
Yeah, it has been quite some time. On a 3rd down throw, it's a pitch and catch. Holland Young with the snag, and he's nearly back to the line of scrimmage. One of the better offensive plays that we've seen from Hillsdale, but they go backwards on the first couple. And on 3rd and a mile, they pick up 6. And the punt unit back on Hayden McFadden will have to dish this away into the very talented Victor Holscher, who's already got a punt return to the crib. Did it last year, too. Broke his own record. I probably won it target number 2.
That'd be a good idea.
Here's McFadden in the lefty. End over end punt. He'll aim it towards the sideline, and a wise decision. as it'll fly out of bounds right around the 40-yard line, I would say. But Marion Local in this offense that has not been stopped, period, outside of, what do we have, 2 incompletions?
Yes, 2 incompletions. They're averaging 13.2 yards per play, 11.6 yards per rush, 23.5 yards per completion. Hillsdale averaging minus half a yard per rush. So, I mean, this is what we, well, as advertised, not what we expected, but as advertised from Marion Local, just they should stay here and play the D3 game, too, see how they stick up against Toledo Central Catholic, because they're about to run off another score.
On
Unless
first
McFadden
down,
catches
Justin
me,
Knopf, and he hurdles Hayden McFadden at the 18-yard line. He'll take it all the way to the house as well. A 60-yard touchdown run on the first snap. So all those averages Travis was talking about, they're going
just went up.
Back into the end zone. Records being broken all over the place out here in Canton.
I mean, this is just crazy how good this Marion Local team is. Now I got to see if this is the longest rush in state championship history.
60 yards. So Travis,
67 is the longest run in a D7 game.
Travis is basically just becoming the encyclopedia now for all of the firsts.
Because I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over of how dominant this team is from Marion Local, and that's nothing against Hillsdale. Hillsdale is in a state championship game for a reason. It's just they've run into this. I don't even have a word for this team.
We've talked about in basketball the possibility as the PAT is tacked on to make it 53-0. I'd love the idea of the championship teams all going head-to-head and determining an ultimate winner. I would have a hard time understanding any team, because just because you're a D7 school doesn't mean you don't have the athletes. It just means you don't have the numbers necessarily to compete with a D1 or 2 or 3. Their participation, as you look over on the sideline, and I haven't looked up and down their roster, but they usually average between 55 and 80 players for a Division 6 or 7 school. So as Travis is my human calculator, he's going to find out exactly how many on the varsity roster listed
66.
for today. 66 players. I think that this team probably can compete with any in the state this season.
I agree. I agree. There were people talking the D1 schools. You know what? Marion Local probably underdog by 2 or 3 scores, but that's a D7 against a D1 being only 3-score underdog. I mean, that's what most media said, and the media that for some reason want to put point spreads in for these games now had Marion Local at about between a 46 and a 52 point margin.
Wow.
Because, I mean, we bet on enough stuff. Why not under the table bet on high school football too? But that's for a different day. 53-0 the score. So they're right now.
Did I mention that Knopf can run to a record setter
hurdle
passer this year, 2,100 yards, including today, and adding a score 27. He's now up around 700 rush yards, his 7th entry into the end zone.
Jake Haven, after his run, just kind of tossed the ball, and the referee, I'm not going to let that. It's going to be a penalty, and after a loss of 1, it's going to be an unsportsmanlike as well. As I think it was, I don't know if it was in pain or in frustration, but he got taken out immediately and tossed the ball away. And they're just going to call it delay a game because he threw it away. So it'll be 5 yards back, and it'll be 2nd down and 16 instead of 2nd and 11. But you see the frustration starting to take over for the Falcons as well here with 4 minutes left in the half.
So after the penalty, they'll go back 6 yards here and make this a longer conversion.
It was a dead ball foul, so it will be 2nd down. That 1 yard loss will count.
They'll go from empty. They'll bring Bauer in motion. Jet sweep. He
Flag on
finds
the
a
play.
little bit of a crease. However, a flag comes in. Would only be a gain of 2. It's going to be an illegal motion against the Falcons. And an opportunity, if Coach Goodwin wants to decline it, to make it 3rd down. And they will indeed just void the flag. So 3rd and long again here for Hillsdale. And such a promising start, but we've seen that. I've covered, this is my 4th state championship game for Marion Local, and each team has gotten off to a decent first drive, and then after that, nothing.
Well, we'll go back to the Lucas game. Lucas had them stop 3 and out. They went for a punt. Lucas went with the punt rush, ran into the kicker. It led to a touchdown. That might be the closest state championship game Marion Local's played in the last 10 years, 28-7. And Lucas Carson Hogger with the longest kickoff return in any division, 98 yards, and this might be a pick 6.
Picked off by Ryan Homan. And he stutter steps, makes a move down to the 10-yard line. He'll dive forward. So Cale Lewis, who has been unflappable outside of Week 10 all season long, he's had some huge games, the most passing yards in a season, most touchdown passes in a game. He's looked young today. The defense has really frustrated him and has just not had the same moxie and charisma that I saw last Friday night against Danville, where he had to come from behind. He made some incredible passes in that game, threading the needle into double and triple coverage. Today, the Flyers have had his number. They've picked him off 3 times. The Falcons defense stop them for just a gain of 2 here on first down. They'll pound it ahead, and just not a lot of running room for Ethan Heitkamp, which has been a rarity. Matter of fact, the first time tonight that we haven't seen a ball carrier enter the second level untouched.
Hey, positivity right there for Hillsdale. That was a good stop. They stayed in their lanes. They closed down the running lanes, allowed the linebackers to get up, and Jake Haven made the stop after only about 2.
They'll hand it straight ahead. Heitkamp this time tripped up, was able to put his hand down, and he pushes ahead out to the 2-yard line. Thought it would only be a 3-yard gain, and he was able to turn it into more like 6.
This is the first 3rd down Marion Local's facing today.
They'll need 3. They can still pick up a first down inside of the 1-yard line. But you talked about positivity. The Falcons defense forcing them to try to earn it here. 2-back set. Heitkamp, the lead back. Parker Hess dots the I. He gets the carry. He's to the outside, and he runs through an arm tackle. Brock Bauer was able to get him. Just couldn't bring him down. Another touchdown for Marion Local.
Records keep breaking.
Another one.
But back to Cale Lewis, I mean, both teams facing it. Marion Local really doesn't have to throw the ball, but the conditions are not that adequate for a passing attack today with the wind blowing from the west. The weather as well, cold ball, might have led to some tough throws by Cale Lewis, but even with that, Marion Local just rolling, as they have all season.
Bills makes it a 60-0 affair here, as it's the 4th touchdown run of the afternoon by Hess. That might be
that ties a record.
And over on the other side for Lewis, 5 of 10 so far, 41 yards and 4 interceptions. One of them taken back for a touchdown. 2 others have been brought back inside of the red zone. So you can't give this team a short field and expect to be competitive, and that's why this is unfathomable, the score at this point in the game. I try to kind of picture how things would go here today. Never in my dreams did I think that it would turn into this type of a nightmare for the Falcons this early on in the contest.
Well, I mean, when you face a team that could compete in any division in the state of Ohio, it just happens. I mean, sometimes teams know what they have going up against them, and they say, hey, let's get to the state championship game. Let's at least get to that final game and then see what happens from there. This might be for any other team in Division 7 saying, hey, hopefully we make it to the other side of the state semifinal bracket. Then, at least we make it to the final day of the regular season and see just what happens against Marion Local. But for the last 63 games, that has not been a good case for those opponents.
Hayden McFadden on the kickoff return. He steps out of bounds in the Falcons sideline around the 26-yard line.
I'm kind of speechless. at this performance today by Marion Local.
11 yards on the kickoff return by Hayden McFadden.
Hillsdale still has 2 minutes, 16 seconds to play with. Last Friday, in the 2-minute drill, saw Kel Lewis get the most important touchdown, in my opinion, of the state Final Four win against Danville right before the end of the second quarter. So they know they can do it. They've got the receivers that are able to get open. That's why they wear those 7-11 chains. Hasn't been that way so far here today. The coverages have been disguised, and we've seen not a lot of change in philosophy here for Marion Local. As I mentioned early on in the game, they set up about the same every time, as it's Haven knocked down right at the line of scrimmage,
Lost the
basically.
ball. Yeah, he lost the ball, had to jump on it 2 yards behind, but also the pass rush, too, hasn't allowed Cale Lewis to get much time. I mean, you could compare the pass rush to maybe a Norwayne, but this one a little bit better. And you saw what Cale Lewis did against Norwayne against that pass rush, had a couple interceptions, Norwayne pulling away late. It's the same kind of scenario coming into this one. It's just Marion Local. When they bring the house, you got to get it out quick. And even when you do that, your wide receivers are guarded.
Adam Winter with the stop. Heading into today, had 54 tackles, 7 sacks, 8 TFLs, as it's a second down run. It's Haven again, and not even back to the line of scrimmage. So the Flyers continue to play inspired football despite the 60-0 commanding lead here. They get in there, they knock them down. It'll be 3rd and 11 again. Hillsdale's been behind the sticks every single play, averaging just a shade over 1 yard per play.
And not even 0 yards per carry, minus 0.4 on that number.
I just want to say, though, my favorite comment so far, Andy Hoskins. Everyone knows Hillsdale's a second-half team. They are
absolutely.
Just getting warmed up.
Yes, they're just getting ready.
How about a 2-yard run here?
There we go. There we go. And they will be able to run this clock out and end this first half, this historic first half by Marion Local.
Yeah, the Falcons will likely take a snap. Might just run it. Who knows? Might try to throw it here. But they've got enough time on the play clock to
The play
allow
clock
it to
not
go
even
to 0.
starting, so they'll just let it run. They might just let this run out and head to the half.
Well, Marion Local's kind of walking off the field. If I'm the Falcons, I might just try to snap this thing.
Too many men on the field. 269-37. That's your total yards in the first half.
And both teams are heading towards the locker rooms. So Marion Local, the most dominant first-half performance in the history of the state championships in any division at any time. 60-0, they lead it here with still 2 quarters of play to come. But they will be with a running clock, so it will likely be a very quick second half. Stick around. We will be back. We'll break down those first-half numbers for you. We will do what we can to try to get you a band performance. And if we can, we'll showcase that. If not, Travis and I will try to keep you entertained until we bring you back for third quarter football.
You can sing, right, Brian?
We'll surely give it a try here. We'll see you guys on the other side of a commercial timeout.
Picking up new hobbies such as cooking is another manly way to avoid depression and reduce stress. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make my world-famous guaco mahogany. First, mash up 5 or 6 of these green things. Then add hot sauce, this lettuce stuff, these red things, salt, some of this stuff, and limes. And finally, bacon to taste. delicious.
Home and Kitchen Supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
They been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. They been sleeping on me, think it's time to wake 'em up. You've been playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. Playing it safe, now it's time to shake it up. So it's time to make a change. Yeah, it's time to break the chains. Yeah, it's time to bring the pain. Let them know, tell them we are not the same. I'm the one that got the flames. With my team, but you know we come to slay. Let them know that we didn't come to play. Nah, we came to win. I'm ready for anything that they can bring. Bring it on, let me do my thing. I'm a giant, they can move the king. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go.
Today's high school football Division 7 championship audio cast brought to you live and free thanks to our good friends over at Simonson Construction Services 8. From concept to completion, they can help you make a plan, refine your vision, and build a path for success. Hit up my buddy Dan Moore over there. They do awesome projects, big projects all over the Buckeye State. So does Sloan Concrete. Decorative and standard concrete services. They serve both central and northern Ohio since 2005. 89 homes and building improvements. They are building homes, earning trust since 1979. Brew'd Coffee and Donut Shop, offering specialty coffees. You're going to need them this time of year. How come it feels like mid-January and we're barely into December? They also have donuts and breakfast foods to keep you warm and get you ready for your day, your afternoon, located in downtown Hayesville. Home and Kitchen Supply, your one-stop shop for kitchen and baths, windows and doors. Since 1970, they've remodeled several rooms in my home. They do an excellent job. Hit up Bo Shaw and the team over at Home and Kitchen Supply and let them build their future with you. Travis asked if I could sing. That's probably the most you'll get out of me. Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation. So life hasn't been all sandalwood and sunshine lately. You can visit mantherapy.org today. Get your free head inspection to see if it's time for a checkup from the neck up. Men are better men when they're happy. Travis just took one yesterday. I was with him, and we found out that he's going to make it. Travis is going to get by. That's why he's here with me today, and we are on the path to success. Thank you, Rich Mahogany, for
Mr. Mahogany, thank you.
letting us know that we are all good. That's all our sponsors for today, I do believe. So we'll do one more commercial timeout. We'll come back, and we cannot get our camera to connect wirelessly. There are too many communication activities going on, so we really do apologize for that. However, we're going to bring you the live audio performance for the Hillsdale Marching Band. I will post the video of their performance later this evening so that you guys can watch it at home. But we'll be back with that. You can listen to it. We'll have your stats, analysis, get you ready for half two, live and free, right here on No Witch Report.
Men have a way of doing things. A man has his way of eating, of exercising, of keeping his hands warm, and of straightening up. So, when a man faces a serious life problem like divorce, depression, or suicidal thoughts, shouldn't a man have a way to deal with that too? Well, now he does. I'm Dr. Rich Mahogany. Visit me at mantherapy.org.
Welcome back to Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton for the Division VII State Championship, where the Hillsdale Marching Band is coming out onto the field. The best we can do for you guys, I've got a camera phone set up in here. We are at least going to show this feed. I'm going to pump up the audio. You guys can listen to the state championship performance. I'm going to turn it over now to the marching band of the Fighting Falcons.
2021. Featuring a flag routine designed by senior Morgan Nally, here is the anthem for Outcasts, All Star. Our final song was named for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Songs That Shaped Rock and Roll, featuring Jacob Gardner on bells and Julia Morawski on snare. Here is our rendition of Welcome to the Black Parade. 2024 Hillsdale Falcon Marching Band.
You know, yoga isn't just for men with ponytails. It's a great tool for relieving stress. But most of those poses aren't realistic. Yeah. You're a construction worker, not a f***ing gymnast. That's why I made this video. Yoga for men. With poses like Weekend Warrior pose. The man spread. And my personal favorite. But just resting my eyes pose. That's the stuff. From depression, relationships, stress, and everything in between. Go to mantherapy.org and take the 20-point head inspection to better care for what's under that hard hat. Because taking care of your mental health is the manliest thing you can do.
Home and Kitchen Supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Sloan Concrete at Canton Hall of Fame Stadium. It's a little bit chilly. I got the jacket on. 25 degrees here this morning, but it's been smoking hot down in the field. If you're a fan of Marion Local.
Yep.
I'm Brian. This is Travis. 60-0 here at the break. We talked about all the different records that have already been broken. Here are the numbers to go along with what we've seen so far. To put up those 60 points, Marion Local's only needed 269 yards. They've had great special teams, 4 interceptions by Cale Lewis, 1 return for a touchdown, a couple more brought back into the red zone. They've just been operating at max capacity, lights out, everywhere on the field. This team is a force to be reckoned with, maybe the greatest season in the history of the state of Ohio. They're looking to cap it off with not just 1, but about 4 cherries on top.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, the most complete half of football I've seen from a team in a state championship and ever, right there, that we just witnessed, and you'll see it in the highlights later. But They are 2 points away from breaking the most points scored in any division in football. Coldwater, who will play tomorrow, scored 61 in their game a few years ago. But one more score for Marion Local. They will be the all-time leader in scores and scoring in a state championship game. It's just Hillsdale ran into the juggernaut.
And to put the offensive numbers aside, you see defensively what they've been able to do, and they got a record setter, of course, in Owen Sloan on the side for Hillsdale, and he was able to participate in the first few drives. Didn't have a whole lot of room to run. Owen Sloan likely done for the day. 8 carries for 10 yards, along of 4 so far. Jake Haven filled in. He's also had 8 attempts, only 5 yards. He's averaging 0.6 per carry. Bowers had 3 opportunities. He's only been able to muster a couple of yards. We saw Cal Lewis drop to a knee to avoid a hit, -9 yards. Hayden McFadden as well for -9 yards. So Owen Sloan, and what we saw during the regular season, he's been hampered during the tournament, and we've known that he has not been at full 100% junior record-setting pace like we saw during the regular season in the first couple of weeks of the tournament, and even into that Malvern game where he set the program single game record with 287 yards, and he was our MVP, not a guy who threw 2 Hail Marys for touchdowns. It was Owen Sloan. That's how good he's been. Got banged up the following week and hasn't been himself. Not sure that it matters or it has a big difference in a game like today against a squad that they just have athletes all over the field. It's the most disciplined program that I've ever watched play football in my almost 20 years doing this job. Not just this year, it's every single year. Coach Goodwin, one of the very best that does it, and everybody buys in. It's a loving program all the way around. The fans are out here, and make no mistake, this is a tiny little town in Maria Stein. They don't poach players from outside of the district.
Nope.
They don't need to.
Homegrown.
They just get full participation. And as they kick it off, Hayden McFadden on the return's got a decent march out to about the 25-yard line. So the Falcons will get the football first here. It'll be a running clock to start this third quarter as we're already 40 seconds in. So it's going to be fast-moving. A big opportunity, I think, though, for Hillsdale. And as I look around on the field, still the starting defense in for Marion Local. And that may be the case here, Travis, because it's going to be a shortened game. And they've got 9 shutouts on the season. I think 10 would be up there in terms of the most ever in the history of the state. So they're probably going to want to close this out.
And these are all seniors. Unlike Hillsdale, you talked about Owen Sloan. He'll be back next year. Hayden McFadden will be back next year as we get a
Jake Haven run here on first down. And he's bowling his way out across the 30 to the 31-yard line in a nice carry, 6-yard pickup, and a nice bright spot here for the Falcons, their best carry of the afternoon.
But we'll see what they do on second down when, Marion Locals really lock things up. But for Hillsdale, Holland Young, Lincoln Jones, Ethan Miller, Brady Critchbaum, Keegan Joliffe, Grayson Alice, the only seniors on this squad.
Yeah.
Most of the meat of this squad will be back next year. And that's just something. You get a taste of that state championship. Let's see what we can do next time.
It's a weird-looking play, and it's Brock Bauer comes in motion. The snap never came. So Cale Lewis on a late snap just takes a knee. Probably should have been a false start. A flag didn't come. It just looked a little screwy from the start. And it'll be a loss of 5. So the 6 yards they pick up, they give 5 back, and now it's 3rd and long again.
Once again, second down just has been good for Hillsdale. They've had some good runs, some good plays on first down, but then after that, it's just been shut down.
Lewis from the gun, 2 receivers to his right, 1 comes in motion. It's Bauer. He gets the carry, and he gets clobbered. Bryant Meyer in the backfield. He hit him immediately right after he took the ball from the right hand of Cal Lewis. And he is stuffed back behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 3, 4th down, and the punt team on.
Yeah, it's, again, Marion Locals bringing 1, 2 too many for Hillsdale to block. He was wide open in the backfield to make the form tackle, as Marion Locals done all day. They wrap you up. They take you down. Only one occasion has Hillsdale been able to get some extra carry after hit.
It's going to be a sidewinding punt Off the left foot of McFadden, this is going to be taken at midfield by Griffin Bruns, and he picks up a block. Now he's got a whole stampede out in front of him. He cuts back, makes one mad miss, and it'll be wrapped up. Carton Stevens able to sling him down, but another solid return, and Marion Local has been devastating in the return game here today. It's all the way back to the 12-yard line into the red zone yet again, and it's been short fields for the Flyers. Time after time, they've only had to march beyond midfield. I think on 2 occasions today, the one-play drive, Knopf with the 60-yard touchdown, that's one of the longest ever, and then their opening drive as well where they marched down the field.
5 plays, 4 first downs, and that 5th play, a touchdown.
So here is Justin Knopf on first down. They'll bring a man in motion. They'll fake to him. They'll hand off. Ethan Heitkamp to the outside, throws a stiff arm, and wow! Absolutely tossed Hayden McFadden to the side as he goes into the end zone. 1-play drive for the Flyers. They throw 6 more up on the board and looking to break the all-time mark here. 6 points closer. Travis has nothing more to add. And what can you say at this point? You can gush over these Flyers and give them all the credit that they deserve. And they are that good, folks. This is a behemoth of a program in the most dominant 4-year stretch in the history of the state of Ohio. They're just really throwing a lot of icing on top of the cake here this afternoon as the PAT is up and good. 67-0.
Second most points ever scored in a state championship game. Jelfos St. John scored 77 against the Shadyside Tigers back in 2010. Other than that, this is the second most points scored by a team in a state championship game. And the most combined points in D7 before this was Marion Local 42, Newark Catholic 7, 49. They blew that number out of the water already here into the third quarter.
And you mentioned Delphos St. John's, a fellow MAC school, and you talk about the prominence, not just of Marion Local, but this conference as a whole, and Coldwater an opportunity to capture a state championship tomorrow. And Delphos St. John's was the program, actually, that had the longest winning streak in the history of the state. It was 57 in a row between 1996, between then and 2000, before Marion Local broke it this season. And you know who ended Delphos St. John's run? I'll let you take one guess.
Marion Local?
Marion Local got it done in the state semifinals in the year 2000. And you know what the Flyers have been able to do since then?
14, well, going to be 15 state
Throw on that
championships.
extra.
Yep.
This looks like an insurmountable lead, and with the running clock the way that it is. So for Hillsdale at this point, we were talking about, just getting out of here with some smiles and feeling like you've accomplished something, which you have this season, but you need to accomplish something in this game too. And I think that's important for these boys, that against this defense that has been rock solid all year, arguably the greatest of all time in the history of Ohio at any level. And you see them giving up the 22 regular season points, only 27 allowed so far through the tournament against some great competition. Shut out the number 2 team in the state in Columbus Grove last week. You got to start getting a little bit of confidence here. It feels like they're not giving Cal Lewis an opportunity anymore, and he's been a little jittery back there. Obviously the 4 interceptions, but what got you here is just relying on the right arm of that sophomore and all of your different playmakers. It feels like they're playing it far too safe now. I'm never going to question Coach Klein and the coaching staff with Tom Williams and everybody. They know way more about football than I do. However, with the score being what it is, who cares at this point? Just let Cal drop back. Do what I saw against Danville, where you're just putting it on his shoulders and you're like, you got playmakers all over the field. Do what's comfortable for them and try to make some plays. They're just lining up and running it, and obviously they're not getting very far.
Yeah, the running game getting 4, 5, 6 yards on first down, and after that they're getting shut down. They still, as a total with the kneels and everything, they're still at minus 6 yards total. So you have to try. You got to try something. Get on the board here. Get something to hang your hat on in your first ever state championship appearance. I know it. You'd love to play anybody else. There's 2 teams,
Yes.
2 or 3 teams that you got to think, oh, why do we have to play them? That's Kirtland, that's Coldwater, who will play each other tomorrow, and that's Marion Local. If somehow you find yourself against anybody else in the lower divisions, you think, hey, I have a chance here. Is that the kickoff will go into the end zone for a touchback. But then you see Marion Local or Kirtland or Coldwater, and you're like, man, it's tough. It's tough. You made it here. You're happy here. This is the first time ever. First time ever Hillsdale won a regional championship. First time ever Hillsdale has made it to the state championship game. They're going home with hardware and medals and a nice banner in the gym saying state runners up in Division 7. Nobody can take that away from them. It's just tough that they had to face Marion Local in that game.
And that was the conversation before the playoffs even started, is who's competing for second place in the state. So guess what, Hillsdale Falcons?
You did it.
That was you.
You're second best team in Division 7. All the teams in Division 7, you're going to be the second best team, only to Marion Local, who could probably win 5 of the divisions.
I'd love to know. I really would. I think it would be so fun to have them line up against some of the big boys, maybe in the D2 game last night in the snow, where this team really seems to thrive. When the weather gets colder, Coach Goodwin's team seems to get better. They're just tougher, they're disciplined, and they've got stacks on stacks of guys that they can bring in. As on first down, the Falcons run it ahead for about 1.
You know one thing Marion Local didn't have, though? A video of their team practicing on the Weather Channel.
Let's go,
The
Falcons.
Weather Channel picked up our
Come
video
on.
from practice as well. During their morning show yesterday, as they go to the break, they usually show some clips. Hillsdale practicing was there. So that's one thing Marion Local doesn't have, is a video on the Weather Channel. There you go.
Second down, they bring Bauer in motion, and he tries to cut it up in the A-gap, and he'll be swallowed whole. But
It's just, once again, the hole looks like it's there, but immediately it gets shut down right as they approach it.
Just doesn't even seem physically possible, but Bryant Meyer was able to close up that small crease immediately. So it's a gain of 2. 3rd and 7 here for the Falcons, as they'll bring Kel Lewis back into the mix. He's joined. I don't even have 44 on my roster. You know who that is? Bringing in a new back here.
I do not.
And they'll hand it off Jake Haven, and I'm a little disappointed, unless there's something that I don't know and that Cal Lewis has a hurt hand. However, I don't know why, when you're down 67-0, why you're just trying to pack it in. How about trying to play for a big play? We've seen Brock Bauer on the jet sweep and then Jake Haven in the A-gap over and over for the last 4 drives, and it's resulted in 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. Just kind of bummed for my Falcons, as it's off the side of the foot that time, and not a great punt here from Hayden McFadden. Certainly it's the worst that he's had here this afternoon. And only a net punt of about 6 yards, as the starting offense just got a standing ovation. It looks like the backups are going to be in here for the Flyers.
So Marion Local kind of calling off the dogs. The second stringers could probably compete with some of the best as well. But that senior class, I mean, we talked about it, one of the best senior classes in the history of Ohio high school football.
I think you could say they're the best.
Yeah.
They're going to be 64-0. No one ever beat them, period, at any time, as the freshman quarterback is now out there. And not a whole lot of freshmen get playing time for Marion Local, and certainly in a state championship game. So Brennan Hess, perhaps the future of the program out there, because Knopf will be lost to graduation. He hands it off, and it's just a gain of 2 here on first down.
Yeah, that's quite the accomplishment to be a freshman playing in a state championship for Marion Local, because of just how they have things set up. You don't play football until 7th and 8th grade. Then you get equal playing time. And once you make it to the varsity level, you got to be pretty darn good, because by that time, those juniors and seniors are the ones that take it over. So even in backup time to get some of these plays, it's really good.
They run it straight ahead. Ben Meyer is able to chug forward for a pickup of 3 on second down. Just a sophomore. So the future on display here for the Flyers, and got to be very exciting, of course, for these youngsters who don't get an opportunity often to break into the mix, though I believe that there were many second half starting with running clocks for Marion Local this year. The defense played a little bit deeper than some of these offensive guys. As a sophomore puts his head down, he bounces off a couple of would-be tacklers, and he's got the first down.
Ben Meyer, the sophomore, 5'8", 165 pounds. Looked like he was going to get taken down before the line to gain, but just like everybody else we've seen running the ball today, kept the feet churning, ran over a defender, got about 5 extra yards and a first down.
Brady Heller had a shot at him and just kind of got blown off that time. So Marion Local comes out. They'll do twin set. 2 receivers to the left side. Under center comes the freshman, and Hess turns, pitches, and Derek Napke, the new ball carrier, catches a couple blocks to the outside. The Falcons will gang tackle him. Still a pickup of 5, though, so the second unit going up against the Hillsdale starters, still finding some success as they're inside of the red zone down to the 15-yard line with the second down, and it'll actually be a gain of 6, so 4 yards is what they need.
Yep, and this should be the final play of quarter number 3 as we're down to 40 seconds. But, you know, second squad, too, they want to score. They want to get in there in a state championship game. They're getting some good yardage as well. The future of Marion Local football out there right now.
Pro set. 2 receivers each side. The deep man is Meyer again.
Be short. Nice game. Nice wrap up. Well,
actually,
I did say nice wrap up, but then a third effort there got them the first down. And that should be the last play of the quarter.
And even though you can instill those type of things within your program, it's hard to coach heart and determination. That's what Marion Local is known for, and it's been on display here this afternoon in full force as they've got a first down. Quarter 3 is in the books. We'll be back. Just one more quarter of play remaining in the D7 state championship.
Men have a way of doing things. A man has his way of eating, of exercising, of keeping his hands warm, and of straightening up. So, when a man faces a serious life problem like divorce, depression, or suicidal thoughts, shouldn't a man have a way to deal with that too? Well, now he does. I'm Dr. Rich Mahogany. Visit me at mantherapy.org.
Fourth quarter action is here, better known as money time on the OH Report, and a big Brinks truck full of a big trophy. About to back in here for Marion Local as they have been dominant 67-0 so far here in this D7 state championship. That's Travis. I'm Brian, and we've had our mouths, our jaws down to the floor a few times on some of the plays that the Flyers have been able to produce here this
Quite
afternoon.
impressive. Yeah.
Really awesome team to watch and to showcase.
Yeah.
And when we have the highlight for you guys later today, you'll see that it's everybody is just exceptional at the game of football here on the field. So for the Falcons to get here the first time in program history, it's been an awesome journey going with them. Has not been their day. And on the flip side, I think that everything early on in the game that could have went right for Marion Local
did
kind of added up and fell in place too.
Yeah, in all aspects as well. Offense, defense, special teams, they've done it all. Every player's been in on tackles, things like that. It's just, wow, what a performance.
And looking to cap it off with another score here, Camden Eifert, the junior's in there at the fullback position, and he trudges forward, burrows his way down to the 5-yard line. Be second down and goal on the way. Running clock here in the fourth quarter with the differential being what it is. And I see Mark Fitzpatrick feels like he thinks Marion Local could win D4, D5, D6. I mean, they played the number 1 team in D6, and they shut them out 35-0. So I think certainly that we could say good enough to win that division.
Could this Marion Local team shut down Bogpin Miller?
I don't know, but they can certainly get into the end zone. Eifert with his second carry here on the drive, and the fullback barrels his way into the end zone. It's the most points in the history of a state championship game at any level. 73 here for the Flyers, outdoing the previous mark of 71.
Yep. Now only Delphos St. John's. They're 4 points away.
Oh, 77 was the best. I'm sorry.
77 was Delphos St. John's, yes.
Okay. So that's what the Falcons can play for here. It's just, don't let them break another record.
Speaking of records, the softball team from Hillsdale, one of the best softball teams in the state. But you got to think this. With the football team making the state championship game, you've had a baseball team last year go to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for a bad call at home, they might have played for a state championship.
Oh, boy.
This game here for the football team, the basketball team was really good, and they should be good again. We will have 10 of their home games for the boys team on the OH report. But as a whole, athletics at Hillsdale High School, very, very good for the small town of Jeromesville.
It's been an unbelievable run. They've got some awesome athletes, better kids, like everybody that I've had an opportunity to visit with, and the coaching staff and the players, parents too, very gracious. The fan base, you can tell a lot of comments coming in today, all positive in nature, and they're having a great run too in many different sports. It's been a great football season for them. They've got high expectations to compete in the WCAL and potentially for a championship for the boys. So there's a lot to look forward to. And with spring lurking, we hope. It's super cold now. I'm already kind of daydreaming about what it's going to be like.
It feels like
in April and May.
It feels like mid-January, and it's only the second week of December. The first week of December, I should say. Maybe that means it'll get warmer. No, it won't. It won't be warmer sooner.
Can that groundhog pop up in Pennsylvania soon and tell us that it's
another 2 months, my friend?
Oh boy,
another 2 months there.
Come on, Phil.
But talk about what Hillsdale's been able to do, in all their sports, but also our OH report teams on the football side this year. We had four football teams play.
Crazy.
In the Final Four. Northmore, Golden Knights, who lost to Kirtland, who will play Coldwater tomorrow. You had Hillsdale and Danville play each other to get to this game. And then you had Big Walnut, who lost to Anderson by 4 points. Anderson lost by 7 in a really good game last night. So, a lot of our teams, a very good, very, very good season on the OH report side of things for football.
Yeah, unbelievable. I bumped into Joe Roberts, the AD at Cincinnati Princeton earlier, and he just said, how's fall been going? And I said, it's been by far the busiest and best for our local teams ever. Mentioned the 4 teams that we got into the state Final Four. And for basketball a season ago, too, went down to Dayton. We had some teams participating there. Volleyball, same thing. And with the expanded divisions, it's even going to be more fortuitous for our local area athletes to have more opportunities, deeper runs in the tournament. Soccer as well. Mansfield Christian getting to the regionals, Clear Fork boys and girls for the first time in their program histories, both playing at the same time, still in the tournament beyond the districts. So really exciting, everything that's been going down. But we wouldn't do it without you, the fans out there watching. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in, and we get a lot of great positive feedback, private messages, emails. I try to respond to every single one of them. So we do really, really enjoy all the feedback that we get from you, the fans out there, as it's the Falcons with the football after a 1-yard gain. And on second down, Jake Haven right back into the teeth of the defense, and all 5 Marion Local players in that area combined to make the stop. Hillsdale still yet to attempt to pass over their last 6 drives.
Yeah, they're just trying to get out of here, get back to school, and get into the basketball season now.
No school today. They canceled it so everybody could be out here.
Hey.
So, hey, I do applaud
Yeah,
the district as a whole. And Marion Local, I presume, did the same thing
they
because
had
there's a
to.
lot of students here.
Yes, there are. I mean, you have to. It's a state championship. For Hillsdale, the first time ever. For Marion Local, they put this on their schedule every year. It's probably a scheduled day off just because. Honestly, once it comes out, that's how good this team is. It's not like a very good team, as Coach Trevor Klein's going to call a timeout here. But just recapping some of the performances from Hillsdale this season, Brian. We talked about Cale Lewis, 2,981 yards. He is now over 3,000 passing yards on the season. Congratulations to him. Owen Sloan, the 1,644 rushing yards. Hayden McFadden even had 115 rushing yards this season, but then receiving. Almost 1,400 receiving yards for McFadden, 915 for Holland Young. Brock Bauer as well. He's coming back. He has 355. He'll step into that second spot since Young is going to be graduating this year. Even Sloan out of the backfield, Jake Haven also. So you're going to have a lot of names coming back for the Falcons coming into next year. So I guess this is it's never you always see those way too early rankings and things like that. But looking at this Hillsdale squad, I mean, depending on how regions work out, but it was a very favorable region for them this year. It was a very favorable region for Danville this year. That's why the two met. It just happened geographically. Perfect for us, perfect for those two teams. But just very early on here, I mean, the season's 7 minutes and 18 seconds from ending, but looking into next year, very high hopes for these Falcons going into next year. Maybe the year they finally get Norway, maybe a year they can finally win a conference championship, but almost every one of their pieces is going to be coming back.
Yeah, haven't won a conference championship since 2010, I believe, when Trevor Klein was the quarterback back in the day. So plenty of pieces returning to fit together on the puzzle that should have even higher expectations heading into 2025. But who's are even beyond that? Marion Local. Yeah. Every single season, never a year off, never a down year. And since taking over the program, Coach Goodwin has only missed out on the postseason one time since 1999. That was in 2004. They've made it 25 times since then, and they're going to lock up their 15th state championship today. They've also been runner-up 3 times. So 18 trips into the finals since 1999. So if you're out there and you're tuning in and you're looking and you're going 74-0, oh my gosh, what is going on here? This is a different type of program. This is a juggernaut of a school, and right now this is the best 4-year run in the history of the state of Ohio. And if you look around all the other states that really prioritize football, which Ohio, the birthplace, of course, we're there right now, and Canton does, this could be the greatest stretch that we have ever seen, period, in America in small school, high school football.
And let me pose this question. Is there anyone next year that can stop Marion Local? Now, they lose they lose all those seniors, but we've seen how many senior classes have been lost and how many players have just stepped in and continued this. Will it make it to 70? Will it make it to 80? When is this going to stop? This feels like UCLA back in the days.
Yeah.
With that big run, or the Ashland women's basketball team as well a few years ago.
Do I hear 100?
Do we see it? Could this be one of the longest winning streaks in the history of the country? I don't know, but they have the ability to.
On third down after the timeout, it'll be Jake Haven. He makes a move into the hole on the right side. He'll pick up a couple. So it'll be fourth down again. Trevor Klein calling over Kel Lewis. They'll keep the offense out on the field. See if they let him rip one and try to complete a pass here as we're approaching the midway point here of money time. And they'll start it in the gun, 4 wide receiver set. Haven the lone back. Got McFadden up top, and he'll lob it. He's got a man. He's open, and it's Hall and Young. Big throw, and it's into enemy territory. The ball comes loose, but it's at the end. He was already down. So to the 35-yard line, and it's a gain of 25 yards. Big play. And that's what's been missing so far over these last 6 drives. That's the first attempted pass for Kale since throwing his 4th pick.
And that brings Hall and Young to 25 yards from 1,000.
So Young looking to become just the 2nd player ever to do that. Hayden McFadden the first, and that was this season. As Haven spins for a gain of 2 off the right side.
19 yards. He only needs 19 yards. He had 66 coming in this game. So another positive to look for the senior, to be the 2nd ever to break 1,000 yards. And that was a very nice throw by Cale Lewis, too. Right down the seam between two of the defenders, perfectly thrown pass. And that's what we've seen from Cale Lewis all year.
Starting defense still out there for Marion Local, and they're really keen on the run. They're stacking 8 guys in the box here, and the Falcons content just to run it for 1-2 yards at a time. This one goes for no gain. 3rd and 8 coming up. Will they allow Kel Lewis to send one into orbit again?
I mean, it is 2 down territory with 5 minutes left. They're going to go 4 wide.
Haven stays in as the single back. They've got Bauer in the slot on the near side. Up top, it's Knox Lewis. Here's Kell. Flush, throws, and it's going to be picked off. Well underthrown. He had a man, Brock Bauer, in the end zone. But it's underthrown by Kell Aarons. Undercuts it. 5th interception of the day for Lewis. And it'll get the ball back into the hands of the Marion Local offense.
Yeah, he started rolling out to his right, saw a defender coming at him, and just he didn't get set enough to throw it, and just completely underthrew his receiver. And Marion Local now 4 minutes away. And barring probably a turnover, this is going to be the last drive of the D7 title game.
It has been tough sledding from the opening snap here today for the Hillsdale Falcons. Quite the opposite for Marion Local. Have not been stopped for no gain or negative yardage yet, and will not on this first down run. A toss play, and Landon Mitten to the right side, his first carry. And he'll gain 3.
Nice job by Brock Bauer out of that defensive secondary to make the open field tackle only after 4 yards. Nice tackle by him. Seems to be a little hobbled, though. But he'll stay there. He'll stay in with 3 minutes left.
Pro set. Falcons stack the box. They'll give to the up man, and the fullback's got a huge hole. Big crease for Ben Meyer. Every time he's touched the football, positive things are happening. He's out across the 41-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12. Chain gang back on the move as the clock melting away, now under 3 minutes to go. The Flyers not doing anything fancy, just lining up with the backups, running right at Hillsdale, enjoying a ton of success.
Marion Local with 5 players with over 30 rushing yards. Knopf with 60. Heitkamp 57, Hess 36, Laus 34, Meyer 31.
They'll actually put it up in the air this time. They're going to allow the freshman to throw it, and he'll have a completion on the near side. Kell Aarons, a sophomore, with the grab. And the clock's going to run no matter what, so I don't mind it. Not with a freshman quarterback in there. State championship game. Let him put it up, and he's got his first completion. Flyers, again, 3 points shy of the all-time record for a state championship game. 77. Need one more score to eclipse that. It's the fullback with the carry, Meyer. Second time on this drive.
That's something else with Marion Local. Classy program that they have, too. They're not worried about that record. Just they play football. They play to win. I've seen multiple times both sides, each opposing player helping each other up, slapping them, smack on the helmet, good play, things like that. The way Marion Local taking out their number ones midway through the third quarter, things like that. It's a very classy program, and then on the other side, Hillsdale as well, too. A very cleanly played football game here today.
Toss play on a third down. Designed to go to the edge, cutting back into the interior is Minton. And he'll be stopped short. So 4th down for the first time. Marion Local. And with under a minute to go, we'll see if they elect to punt it away or if they just try to run it for 2 yards and end the game with a first down.
Well, they want to get into the greatest formation in football, victory formation. They get a first down, they're going to be able to do that. And actually, they might not even need to. It's going to get under 40 seconds no matter what. So all they need to do is get the first down. They won't have to worry.
They will line up in the I. Straight ahead again. Ben Meyer fights for first down yardage, and they'll have just enough. So the final play of the game is a first down here for Marion Local, and the Flyers have captured a state record 15th championship and an icy cold Gatorade bath for Coach Goodwin, as it's 4 consecutive seasons without a defeat. Marion Local stamping themselves here into the record books. 74-0 victory over Hillsdale in their first ever state championship game appearance.
I mean, just what a team this is from Marion Local, but what a team Hillsdale had too. Got to be proud of the Falcons. First ever state runner-up trophy, first ever trip to the state championship game. It's just a shame they had to face a team that could be probably favored in more than half of the state championship games played. The juggernaut that is Marion Local. Congratulations to Hillsdale, and even more congratulations to Marion Local continuing the state record winning streak.
16-0 on the season, 64 wins in consecutive fashion as a senior class, never tasting defeat, period, at the varsity level. When we come back, we will have some audio for you guys to hear of the state championship trophy presentations. We'll have the final stats for you guys and wrap things up here from Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton as the Flyers rewrite the history books yet again with state championship number 15 just since the year 2000. We'll see you guys back in a couple minutes.
Yoga isn't just for men with ponytails. It's a great tool for relieving stress. But most of those poses aren't realistic. Yeah. You're a construction worker, not a f***ing gymnast. That's why I made this video. Yoga for men. With poses like Weekend Warrior pose. The man spread. And my personal favorite. But just resting my eyes pose. That's the stuff. From depression, relationships, stress, and everything in between. Go to mantherapy.org and take the 20-point head inspection to better care for what's under that hard hat. Because taking care of your mental health is the manliest thing you can do.
Home and Kitchen Supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
These seniors have never lost a high school game. Coach Goodwood's 325th win from Global Dynasty. You've averaged over 40 points, 10 shutouts, and that was against 15 playoff caliber teams. Again, incredible season. I have Ms. Randy Bixler, our Vice President of the Board of Directors, here to present the Division 7 trophy. On behalf of our staff, all of our member schools, it is my pleasure to present the Division 7 State Champion Marion Local Flyers.
So there it is, Marion Local with their 15th state championship trophy awarded by the executive director of the OHSA, Doug Ute, as the Flyers will go down in history, the greatest class to ever come through, period, for any high school football program in Ohio, as they win it here 74-0, 64 consecutive wins. I am Brian Skowronski. I have got Travis Berardi with me. And just a heck of a performance and a showing here by the Flyers. Impossible not to be impressed. Anybody that was here in attendance today, Falcons fans included, are going to walk away and say the champ is here. They were a force to be reckoned with. Nobody touched them all season. Their closest game a couple of weeks ago in the regional final against Minster, 21-7 in that rematch with them after they beat them 21-0 in the regular season. Other than that, it's been blowout city week after week, time after time. Nobody's tested them. Offensively, they've been a juggernaut, averaging more than 40 points per game. And then on defense, 10 shutouts now, Travis. And today, another one for the record books, the 6th fewest yards ever allowed.
We take a look at the final statistics. Fewest total yards allowed. Tiffin Calvert, actually, in 1980 at Arlen Field against Newark Catholic, only gave up 30 yards. But 30 yards, 40 by St. John's over Steubenville Catholic, 52 by Marion Local over Shadyside in that blowout victory. Kirtland, 58 against Ironton, 63 Cardinal Mooney over Toledo St. Francis de Sales, and now this year, number 6, 75 yards given up. 7th now is St. Xavier out of Cincinnati over Pickerington High School in 2020, but the 6th least amount of yards given up in any state championship game, 75, and they shut down the rushing attack from Hillsdale, only allowing 3 rushing yards. They were in the negatives for most of the game until, the second strings got in there and they allowed a couple yards. They still did pretty darn good, though, shutting out Hillsdale. But, 2 big chunk plays for Cale Lewis got him up to 72 passing yards as well. But just a total dominant effort all around by the number 1 team, the undisputed number 1 team in the state in Marion Local, who finishes with 345 passing yards or total yards, 248 rush, 99 pass.
You see 74 points up on the board, and you assume that they would have had to have an offensive explosion, but it was just deaths by a million cuts in a lot of different ways, where no matter who touched the football today, they enjoyed a lot of success. Special teams touchdown, defensive touchdowns, short fields over and over again. 5 interceptions. Those takeaways set them up with short fields on every occasion, and they got into the end zone each time they had the football, with the exception of the last drive where they got that first down to end it. So it was a perfect day to be a Marion Local Flyer and a player and a football fan of their program. So we applaud them and what they've been able to do.
What a job by them, yeah.
This is the best football team I've ever watched. I saw them in the state championship game last year against a Downton team, also from the WCAL, that went out there and thought that they would have a great opportunity, and them boys were huge up front, and they weren't able to compete with the physicality that we saw from the Flyers here today, and then certainly last year in Hillsdale, just the latest victim to run into Marion Local. To put a bow on the season that we just saw, though, from the Hillsdale Falcons, 14 wins. That's a program record. This, their 13th playoff appearance, and easily the most successful that they've ever had. Didn't make the playoffs until 2009. Coach Klein was a player then. Got him back into it in the regional final the following year. But so many broken records this year. Wins, passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, single game records for sacks, pass touchdowns, rush yards, rush touchdowns. There's more to add to this list as well. They outscored opponents coming into today 574 to 246 and did hold 6 opponents to 1 score or less. Just didn't have it in this championship game. It got away from them very early in the contest. They were down 3 scores 3 minutes into the contest. Couldn't respond, but I'll respond by saying it was a heck of a ride, Falcons. Glad that I could be a part of some of it, and really looking forward to seeing what they bring back next year. And probably they're going to be energized all off season, thinking about what happened today and how they can overcome and be better prepared next season if they are fortunate enough to make it all the way to the granddaddy of them all for Ohio high school football in the state championship.
And that's what you do. Do you let this loss hurt you, or do you let this loss motivate you? Most teams we've seen that have come back and win a state championship, let that motivate you. You've been into the lock. You've been in the weight room over the offseason. That's something we saw with the Northmore Golden Knights. How they, after last year losing in a regional semifinal, they didn't let that blowout the Garraway hurt them. They actually let it motivate them, and they were in the weight room early on. They were in at 5 a.m. for weightlifting and practices, and what did they do? They had their best season ever. Now for Hillsdale, They have pretty much everybody coming back. Do you let this experience motivate you? They can get into the weight room. I think they have the ability to come back. But talking about their season real quick, they were a Hail Mary from Malvern from not even making a regional championship. They needed a couple things bounced their way, but that crazy game that they had there got past that. And sometimes you get the right bounces to get to a state championship game, but those right bounces didn't fall today.
Not today. Today belongs to Maria Stein, Marion Local. 4 in a row, 15 overall, and a heck of a performance here at Hall of Fame Stadium. That'll put a bow, though, on our high school football live coverage for this season. We'll still have a state championship highlight coming of this one. We'll also have the Division 4 championship game coming up for you guys, as well as the Division 6. So you can find those on all 6 of our platforms coming up here in the near future. But for today, appreciate all of our generous sponsors combining to bring you the live and free coverage. Our staff here, we got Brandon Powell, who was shooting the highlights that you're going to see later tonight. Travis Berardi on the call with me, Adam Thompson directing as well. And big thank yous all season long to our Hillsdale sponsors, Simonson Construction, Sloan Concrete, 89 Homes Building and Improvements, and Brew'd Coffee and Donut Shop. And also a round of applause to Home and Kitchen Supply and the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation for helping us out with our state championship coverage here this morning. Congratulations to both teams. We'll see you guys with some basketball action later tonight and tomorrow, plus that football coming up. But for now, we are out of here. So long, everyone.